on a much more mundane level, when Marie was talking, I was reminded of the experience being a marshal at those huge marches in the late winter of 2003. That one of the one of the exciting things about it was being assigned the duty of carrying buckets around that collected donations, and literally, you know, having these big plastic buckets overflowing with monetary contributions to the costs that were associated with ECAWAR. I noticed that on the table by the petition you're all going to be signing, there's a very modest small bucket, but I hope we can at least overflow that, because those donations from 2003 did pay the bills for a lot of the other things ECAWAR was able to do for quite some time. So if you're able, before you leave today, please remember that there's that practical need for the work of standing up against war in this city. I'm going to ask Peggy to come now as kind of wrapping this part up, and before we move to the close of the program, to just share briefly some thoughts about the future and where ECAWAR needs to go or could go from here. So back to you, Peggy.
Yeah, Peggy!
What's this one? I have to tell you a really fast story about Sophie, because it's such a wonderful story. Sophie came here during the, if somebody can remind me, was it 2004 elections? Sophie Harkat? Anyway, Sophie came, she came to the Unitarian Church. Sylvia's not here today, but Sylvia had organized the meeting. So we let the NDP and the Greens, and I was running as the Marxist-Leninist candidate, so we all knew that Sophie was going to be there with her cameraman, because they were doing a film on the security certificates, and the cameraman just happened to be Sacha Trudeau, okay, brother of Justin. So of course when Anne McClellan, who was the minister who signs the security certificates, sees that he's in the audience, and when Sophie gets up to the mic, that was a moment when one will never forget. Her face just froze. It was beautiful. And Sophie, with the utmost composure, went up to the mic and she asked her a question, and Anne answered it as a lawyer. And Sophie said to her, I didn't ask you if it was legal. I asked you if it was just. I thought Anne McClellan was going to fall over. Because she had nailed the question that yes, it was legal, and yes, we've learned just how far they can go, and it's still legal, but it doesn't make it just. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. When seeing Sophie today, it really reminded me of that day. So just to wrap up, the point I think that's come out of all this is that there's so much work to do. And the work isn't just, you know, what we've done in ECAWAR is mainly to respond to various attacks that are taking place. We've heard today about, you know, the ongoing work that people are doing on many, many things, on the questions of rights, on the question of war. And so our thinking that for the next year, and this is mainly to invite everyone to come and participate in the planning, is that we want to start a regular monthly program in ECAWAR. So it might be something like this, that we do a leaflet, say we go for a walk with our banners and our signs along White Avenue, and we leaflet and we talk to everybody for an hour, and then we come together and have a discussion and have people prepare on various things. So it might be something like that. So in other words, we carry on an ongoing program to try and really bring in more people, engage the youth, go and talk to concerned Canadians. Whenever we've done this kind of thing in the past, we've always been surprised at just how receptive people are and how much people want information. So it doesn't mean that we're not going to organize our rallies and our demonstrations and our pickets and carry on that kind of thing, but we really want to, we really feel the need to have a regular program that takes us out amongst people and shares the information that we ourselves are having, and ourselves to keep having those discussions to deal with a very, very complicated world that we're living in right now, and all the assaults on our rights and on people's right to live in peace. So that's basically it. So please make sure, there's lots of faces here that we know, recognize from our actions, but there's also new faces, and please sign up and come out to our ECAWAR planning meetings. It looks like we'll need a bigger room, which is great. So we'd really like to have you all as part of that in the new year, so we can start to work and plan on a new program. So thanks very much to everybody for coming.